Okay, so last lesson about banking and finances, and then we can move on to some more fun things. Yeah, lesson three, travel friendly banks and cards. So I'm just going to give you a quick run through of the main ones that we suggest, and then some other ones as well. I'll just mention some other ones. So yeah, the main features of these travel friendly, I guess what makes a bank or bank card travel friendly are these things that they either have low or no international transaction fees. So yeah, unlike main kind of high street banks, yeah, they don't charge anything while you're traveling to use it. They have mobile app. They have mobile apps, one, and two, you can do so much through the mobile app. Some of them are even what I call mobile first, in that they kind of assume that you're going to do everything to do with your bank account through the app rather than going into branch or speaking to a human on the phone or anything like that, or maybe even a website. Um, they don't block your card unnecessarily, so they kind of assume you're traveling as a default, rather than other kind of normal banks where if they see a transaction from abroad, they'll automatically block the card. These ones, maybe they'll ask you, is this a transaction that was you or was it someone else before blocking it? But they usually just, yeah, they're not trigger happy in blocking cards. And if they do block a card, they're very quick to unblock it. Usually you can just do it through the app without speaking to a human. You might get a notification saying, we've seen a suspicious transaction. Was it you? And if you just say yes, then your card's unblocked. And they'll send you a replacement anywhere in the world rather than you having to maybe go into the branch or having to have a card sent to your registered address at home. Some of these banks will send you your card anywhere in the world for free, even. So, yeah, on to the banks that we recommend. So, the best bank account available for someone that's traveling kind of long term, like we are, is the Charles Schwab checking account. So yeah, this is by far the best account available. Um, Unfortunately, it's only for US citizens. So for those of us that aren't from the US, like myself, we can't use this card. But if you are, then yeah, it's great. So it has free international and FX means foreign currency, basically. Um, so you can use the card for free abroad, no transaction fees whatsoever. You can have free ATM withdrawals anywhere in the world. You don't get charged per withdrawal. And the big thing with a Charles Schwab card is that you get rebates on ATM fees. So there's, as I mentioned in a previous lesson, there's two sides to the fees you might get charged at ATMs. There's one, your own bank charging you a fee every time you withdraw. And there can also be the fee on the ATM side, which means that, yeah, that specific ATM you're using is going to charge you a fee because you're using a foreign card. So the Charles Schwab account refunds you the ATM fees, which is extremely generous because it's not them that's charging you it. And that can add up to a lot of money if you're traveling long term. So that's like a really huge plus that actually isn't available in any other bank accounts or cards. So yeah, that is by far the best one. The next, I don't know if it's the next best. The next two are pretty much similar. So Revolut is a UK-based bank, but they are widely available around the world. They recently became available to US citizens. So yeah, they're available to many people, basically everyone that lives in Europe, the US, I think Australia as well. They again have free international and FX transactions. They do have an upper limit, but I think it's something like $1,000. So yeah, per month, I should say. So that's not really going to be an issue for you. And they do have free ATM withdrawals up to a limit as well. And I think that's between $200 and $300. So they do charge a small amount if you withdraw anything beyond that or above that amount. But in kind of normal circumstances, you shouldn't really be using going into that threshold where you have to pay. They're a mobile first bank, so that means you can basically do everything that you would need to do with regards to your account through the Revolut app. So they actually have no bank branches. I don't think you can actually speak to someone on the phone. It's all through the app. There's like a help chat through the app. Any problems you do it through the app. So that's really useful. You can really see, and there's like analytics on how you're using your account, how much you're spending each month on what. All that stuff is all readily available through the app. And then a big thing with traveling is that you can freeze and unfreeze your card through the app. So that means that you can make your card, you could basically stop it from being used by freezing it. And then whenever you want to use it, you can get out your app, unfreeze it, use it, and then freeze it again. So that means no one can skim your card, which can happen a lot. Maybe not a lot, but it does happen when you're traveling abroad sometimes, using ATMs or using it in a shop or something. Someone might copy your card details. Happens far more abroad than it would in your home country, probably. So freezing your card basically stops that from being able to happen. So no one can use your card or spend any money on your account whilst your card's frozen. So that's actually a really good policy for when you're traveling, is to always have your card frozen and then unfreeze it when you want to use it, and then refreeze it again straight after making whatever transaction it is you want to make. So yeah, that's Revolut. And then TransferWise, this is the last one we're going to cover here. Again, it's widely available. It's another UK bank. I don't know what it is with the UK and these kind of travel-friendly banks, but these are two big ones. There are actually others as well, but they're only available to UK citizens. But yeah, TransferWise, again, widely available throughout the world. Doesn't really matter. Well, it does, but many countries. Unfreeze the card through the app as well. So yeah, it's very similar to Revolut. Revolut has a few kind of extra bells and whistles that make it a bit more exciting. For example, you can buy cryptocurrencies on the Revolut app. You can buy gold on the Revolut app. You can invest on their kind of like Robinhood. So it has a little bit more in terms of functionality, but apart from that, kind of the baseline of how they work, TransferWise and Revolut are very similar. And then Charles Schwab, more of an established bank that has that excellent rebate policy on ATMs. So those are the three best that I would recommend. And as I said in a previous lesson, you should get all three if you're able to. And just, top them up before you leave. And then you've just definitely got 3 extra cards that you can use abroad. It's always better to have kind of insurance policies in place in case anything happens. You might lose a card or whatever the case may be. To have all 3 available, is going to kind of give you that extra insurance policy against any nightmares that you might come across. So there are a few others that are worth checking out. There are actually way more than this available in the world, but it just depends on where you're from, what you're going to qualify for. So yeah, these are 3 more that are worth checking out. Capital One 360 is for US citizens. N26 is a German bank. Everyone in Europe can get an account with N26. And there's one called Stack, which is for Canadians. Canadians actually have a bit of a raw deal in terms of these travel-friendly banks. They don't have a lot of options, but this is one of them that's available to Canadians. So there's links to all 3 of those main banks that we recommend in the text below this video. So yeah, you can just click on them and request an account straight away, basically. So yeah, that's everything I have for banking and finances. So yeah, on to some more exciting stuff next.